Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here at the News Forum, where all voices matter. President Trump's inauguration means that Canada-US relations are in the spotlight on both sides of the border. Here to help us make sense of it all is returning guest John Faso. He is a former U.S. Congressman from New York's 19th Congressional District. Welcome back to the program.
Tony, great to be with you and your viewers.
Appreciate it very much. Let's start with a very open-ended question, shall we? What do you make of Canada-US relations presently?
Well, I'd say that they are bumpy. I think that President Trump, when he is inaugurated, has pledged to bring about some changes in our trade relations. He's calling for tariffs, both against Canada and against Mexico, and frankly against all other trading partners. And I think that let's see exactly what he is proposing. In under U.S. law, presidents have a lot of authority that they don't need to go to Congress for, and I think that uh, and I think this is true. I think much of what Trump has been saying is part of a negotiation, as he sees it. Yeah, you hear him make certain comments and threaten certain percentage tariffs, and I don't think we should underestimate those. I think we should pay close attention to them. But I think that the next few weeks are going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and I recognize for our viewers' knowledge that we're playing a bit of a guessing game here at the point at which we are filming this. But I'm gonna be on the side of saying there will be some tariff action. May not be all at once, maybe 5% in increments over a period of time to again get those negotiations going. So, tell us what you think the U.S. or President Trump's what their end goals are when it comes to these kinds of tariff impositions and what that means in terms of Canada-U.S. policy.
Well, Donald Trump, way before he was president, talked in very kind of nationalistic terms about the trade imbalances that the U.S. has, particularly with the People's Republic of China. And while our trade imbalance has dropped with China because of pressures and also because of many American companies moving production out of China to other places like Indonesia or Vietnam, Malaysia, etc. Um, I think that what the president is, he's a firm believer in tariffs. And, while I can I frankly don't subscribe to the same philosophy as he on these topics. I think, particularly as it relates to the U.S. Mexico issue, he's wanting to use tariffs in order to bring changes in how Mexico is handling immigration into the United States. And that is a really big issue for the president. It's a big issue. It's one of the main reasons I think he won the election. When you get to the issue of Canada, though, we have such a symbiotic relationship. There's so much cross-border trade, whether it's in autos, whether it's in energy, whether it's in a lot of hydro from Canada comes down into my state, into New York State. So it's a much more even-handed relationship. There's a big imbalance with Mexico, but with Canada, frankly, we've had pretty good relations over the last few years, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because there is so much cross-border trade, particularly in energy. For
Right.
instance, a large percentage of our oil imports come from Canada. And the president doesn't want to see oil prices rise precipitously. So what he tries to impose tariffs on, what products, what services, frankly, I think it still remains to be seen. But in the energy area, I think it's very problematic, and also in the auto area.
Right, and we saw that the Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, made her way down to Mar-a-Lago to make that point about energy and how Canada can be a trusted energy partner in alliance with the United States. So maybe that message is getting through.
I hope so. Certainly, um, the president. One of the things the president has talked about is is boosting our energy production, and we already are the largest energy producer on the world stage today. And the fact is, we still, though, even though we produce an awful lot, we still
Sure.
import certain amounts of energy, whether
Sure.
it's through something called the Enbridge pipeline, their Line 5 that goes through Minnesota, Michigan, and down